Hello, ladies. I got dressed up for you today. Today, I want to talk to you about how sugar affects our overall health. As I mentioned in previous talks, sugar is responsible for weight gain through increased fat. We have three different kinds of fat in our body. We've got brown fat in our brain, which is essential. We have subcutaneous fat that's under our skin. Though this is the kind of fat that makes women unhappy with cellulite, it's not very dangerous. The dangerous fat that we may have is called visceral fat. Visceral fat's in our torso, and it is packed between our organs. So visceral fat is the kind of fat that we want to avoid. It actually is metabolically active itself. So that means it produces its own hormones. It's been linked to hormone-related cancers and all kinds of other diseases because it essentially chokes out our organs. Um, so we want to limit our sugar consumption so that we prevent visceral fat. When we eat too much sugar, we increase our risk for heart disease and atherosclerosis in particular, which is a disease that's characterized by fatty artery deposits. Sugar consumption has also been linked to poor skin, including acne, because when we have spikes in our blood sugar, when we have spikes in our blood sugar and our insulin levels go up, this causes our androgens to increase in our body and oil production and inflammation to result. So all of these play a role in acne development, and studies on acne have found that people who eat more sugar and refined foods are more prone to acne. I'm sure you know that sugar consumption has also been linked to type 2 diabetes. Sugar consumption increases our risk of cancer, and studies have shown that women who consume sweet buns and cookies 3 times a week were 1.42 more likely to develop endometrial cancer. Sugar is linked to depression and mood instability. And sugar consumption has also been implicated in accelerated aging, in particular in the shortening of our telomeres. So our telomeres are structures that are found at the end of the chromosomes, and they are molecules that hold part of our genetic information. They're kind of like caps on the end of our chromosomes. And when we age, they naturally shorten. But sugar increases the shortening of the telomeres, which causes cells to malfunction and underperform. So studies have shown that a daily 20-ounce serving of sugar sweetened soda equals 4.6. Studies have shown that a daily 20-ounce serving of sugar sweetened soda actually increases your aging by 4.6 years. Studies have shown that a daily 20-ounce serving of sugar sweetened soda, say that 4 times fast, equates, studies have shown that a daily 20-ounce serving of sugar sweetened soda adds, studies have shown, oh my God, studies have shown that a daily 20-ounce serving of sugar sweetened soda increases your aging process. Studies have shown that a daily 20-ounce serving of sugar sweetened soda accelerates your aging by 4.6 years. Sugar also ultimately drains our energy because when we experience sugar spikes, we also experience a sugar crash. Here are a couple of other things that sugar consumption has been directly linked to. Here are a couple of other, here are some other things that sugar consumption has been linked to. Fatty liver, kidney disease, dental health, joint pain, and cognitive decline. So, I'm going to continue to give you more information on why you may want to consider eliminating sugar from your diet this week. Today, your task is to revisit the goal that you made last Monday, which was to eliminate the most impactful added sugar food from your diet. If you were able to do that, I want you to go and take it another step further and actually try to fully get off sugar this week. So I want in the comment below for you to answer the question, have you eliminated that food from the first week? If you have successfully, are you prepared to come off sugar all the way this week? Only going to take 3 days, remember, for you to get it out of your system and move forward. So I'm going to be looking to see in your comments whether you're ready or not. And I'm going to structure the next couple weeks of the program based on the information I received. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, welcome. Today, we're going to continue our sugar talk. There's still more information. So today I want to talk specifically about inflammation in our body and how sugar contributes to inflammation. So we have inflammation in our body naturally. We have two types. We've got acute inflammation, which happens when we bump into something and get bruised or injure ourselves bodily in a physical way. And what happens is our body responds with inflammation. And inflammation is actually a normal process that's natural and necessary for healing. Because when our tissues become inflamed, what happens is additional blood flow goes to the area, as well as healing factors and our lymph, so that we can move we have acute inflammation, which happens when we injure ourselves, and that's a natural process of healing, and it's necessary. Then we also have chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation has been linked with disease, and that's the kind of inflammation we're talking about when we are considering sugar consumption. So people with higher sugar diets have more inflammatory markers in their blood, including a marker called C-reactive protein. A 2014 study found that people who reduced their intake of sugar-sweetened drinks had lower A 2014 study showed that people who reduced their intake of sugary drinks had fewer inflammatory markers in their blood work. Sugar stimulates the production of free fatty acids in the liver. And when the body digests these free fatty acids, the resulting compounds can trigger an inflammatory process. Sugar stimulates the production of free fatty acids in the liver. When the body digests these fatty acids, the compounds that result can trigger an inflammatory process. People may develop the following symptoms if they have chronic inflammation: depression, anxiety, and other mood disorders, body pain, including joint pain, constant fatigue and insomnia, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux and other digestive issues, weight gain, and frequent infections. Sugar is known to suppress the immune system, and just by consuming 100 grams of sugar, similar to those found in a soft drink, our body suppresses white blood cells functions by 40% for at least 5 hours. When we consume just 100 grams of sugar, that's about the amount of sugar in a soft drink, our white blood cell function is reduced by 40% for at least 5 hours. So we want to, a lot of the work that we're going to be doing in Periwing, a lot of the habits that we're going to be forming around food in Periwing are to reduce inflammation. And that's why I'm starting with sugar as our first way in to making change in our diets. Because once we get rid of sugar and we reduce body inflammation, then we start to see our real health shining through. Okay, so today your task is to get to bed on time. How is your sleep going? Are you sleeping better now that you're not having sugar? Is the bedtime you chose working for you? Answer my questions below. Thank you. Today we're going to talk about sugar and menopause, my favorite topic. So, why is it so important for us in this stage of life to consider committing to eliminating sugar from our diet? When we are in this stage of womanhood, wonderful stage of womanhood that we're in, it is wonderful. We have different things happening, and blood sugar issues emerge and become even more critical during and after menopause. Estrogen and progesterone are in flux in perimenopause and in decline. So these two hormones have an effect on the way insulin works in our body. Insulin is a hormone that's produced in the pancreas, and it helps our body use glucose for the energy it needs and stores the glucose for later in the form of fat. Reduced estrogen levels can lead to insulin resistance, which is when our body does not respond to insulin well and blood sugar increases. So this is why I have been adding all kinds of information in the app on how to keep our blood sugar levels even and how to even reduce our blood sugar levels, because we are more prone to having higher blood sugar in perimenopause and menopause because of the decrease in estrogen and progesterone and how that affects our insulin. In menopause, when our estrogen and progesterone are decreasing, our cells become more resistant to insulin, meaning that our body has to work a lot harder to manage blood sugar. Many women see their blood sugar levels rising and falling, and this can contribute to our moods and our energy levels big time. It makes us vulnerable to several other kinds of ailments, including type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. Also, higher blood sugar levels are related to weight gain and fatigue, as I mentioned this week. So the more consistent we can keep our blood sugar, the better we're going to have our health outcomes be in the long term, and the better we're going to feel in the short term. The other thing that they've found in science is that the other thing that scientists have found is that high blood sugar is actually linked to hot flashes. And continued and persistent hot flashes are actually linked to heart disease. So getting a handle on sugar is really important for us in perimenopause and in menopause. Sugar also affects our sleep. Many women see that sugar also affects our sleep. If our sugar is low, if we have high sugar, hyperglycemia, we'll find that our kidneys work harder too. When we have high blood sugar, our kidneys are working harder to eliminate the excess sugar from our body. And we find ourselves having excess urination. So if you are continually waking up at night to urinate, it could be a sign that you have high blood sugar. Also, thirst is another sign of high blood sugar. On the other hand, low blood sugar, hypoglycemia, causes spikes in our cortisol. Our body sends our cortisol out by our adrenals to wake us up and cause us to eat at night because we are not having enough blood sugar while we're sleeping. So if you are either waking up because you're urinating too much, you may have high blood sugar. If you are waking up and you don't know why, usually around 3 a.m., that's indicating that you may have a low blood sugar and cortisol imbalance. Blood sugar levels can be affected by a number of things, including stress, illness, lack of sleep, side effects of medicines, diets high in saturated fats and sugars, and eating sugar has these benefits. It reduces the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and some cancers, as you know. It makes weight management easier, as you also know. It generally produces a better diet overall because there's more room for the good stuff. And fewer spikes and troughs in your blood sugar reduce the mood and energy fluctuations. Furthermore, lowering your sugar consumption has directly been linked to fewer menopause symptoms. That reason alone is worth gold for many, many women. So it may actually be more, studies have found that reducing sugar actually may have a greater effect on menopause symptom outcomes than hormonal replacement therapy. That's pretty significant. So for women in our age range, it's recommended only 5 teaspoons of added sugar per day. Okay, here's another thing. How to know if you have insulin and a problem with insulin resistance. Eating food should not affect your energy levels, believe it or not. If you are more energetic after a meal, or if you feel fatigued after a meal, both of those things indicate that you may have blood sugar dysregulation. If you are insulin resistant, if you can, here's some information to help you discern whether or not you may have problems with your blood sugar regulation. When you eat a meal, you should not feel either energized or sleepy. If you're more energetic after a meal, or if you're fatigued after a meal, this is a sign that you have blood sugar dysregulation. People who feel sleepy after a meal may tend towards insulin resistance. This is a sign that some lifestyle changes need to be made. Today, your job is to keep yourself well hydrated and start to become aware of how much water you're drinking. As I mentioned in previous recordings, the recommended amount is determined by taking your body weight, dividing it in two, and drinking that many ounces of water daily. It's important for you to get water throughout your day, so not just to glug it all, chug it all at one point. So what I want you to do is calculate how many ounces of water you're going to be drinking every day and write it down and find a container that you can use. You might have to fill that container twice or three times. So in the comments below, you're going to commit to your water consumption ounces and the container. I want you to name both of those in the comments below. And you're going to start drinking that today. So not only will you be helping your cells hydrate and your blood hydrate and your skin look great, but you'll also be helping your kidneys eliminate any excess sugar from your body without putting too much strain on. Okay, so that's your task for today. Thank you.